Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Behind me, 2012 Toyota Sienna, we're going to be changing the front right CV axle. That's the passenger side. We are working on an all-wheel drive. Let's get started. Underneath the vehicle, we want to drain the transmission fluid. This is a 6mm Allen. Crack that loose. A little bit will come out. Just let that drain. While this is draining, let's swap over. We also have to do our transfer case fluid. On the back of the transfer case is our fill plug. It's a 24mm. We'll use a shallow socket and a breaker bar. I want to make sure we can get this first before draining it. Let's see if I can back you up a little. That wasn't too bad. Now underneath is our drain plug. Crack that loose. Also not too bad. Okay, we get our catch pan underneath. Take our fill plug out first. Let me move it. I know you can't really see the fill plug. It's in a weird spot. There's the plug. The reason why we have to drain both the transfer case and the transmission is on these all-wheel drives, they run the risk of mixing with each other once we pull the CV axle out. If that happens, it's a lot of work to get things cleaned up inside. So this is a very important step. Pull the drain plug off. Now our drain plug has a magnetic tip. So you want to just wipe off any sludge, any gunk, and we'll get a new washer. All right, that's all drained out good enough. Got our drain plug, new washer. Put that on. This is torqued to 36 foot-pounds. Wipe it off real good. Now let's go back to the transmission. Inside here is another 6mm Allen. When I get this straw out, just keep turning it. All right, there it is. Let the rest of it drain out. Clean this off. That should be good enough. Put this back in. Important it goes in all the way till it bottoms out. And we just want it finger tight. Doesn't have to be too tight. There we go. Put this plug back in. We don't need to torque it down yet. We'll do that after we refill it. All right, let's work on the axle. Next, we'll remove our spindle nut. You'll notice a groove on our CV axle. The nut is stamped into that groove. So you want to take a chisel or a screwdriver and unstamp it. So I'm just using a chisel. We'll get in there, knock on it. Now it looks like this one's been replaced before. Normally, they're a 30mm 12-point socket. It's important that it's 12-point if you're taking off the factory nut. The one I'm working on is actually a 32mm, so just keep that in mind. The aftermarket CV axles will have a different nut size, but factory is a 30mm. I'm gonna be using an impact to buzz mine off. If you don't own an impact, you could take a screwdriver, put it in the fins of your rotor, and that'll lock it in place from turning. Then you could just crack it loose with a breaker bar. Let's give this a shot. Now we'll make sure this can slide freely. There we go, no problem. If yours is kind of stuck in here, we'll just take a hammer, smack on the front of it. They also make a little indent in the front. You can use a punch and hit on that with your hammer, but we're in good shape here. Next, we'll undo our 3 ball joint fasteners. These are a 17mm. Let me move you a little. You'll see a hole in our lower control arm. From the top, we'll use a pry bar. We'll get in that hole. Then we'll push down on our control arm to separate the ball joint. There we go. We'll just move this out of the way. There, perfect. We'll go ahead and turn our steering wheel all the way to one side. That'll open up this space for our CV axle. Now I'll push the CV axle from the front here and work it out the back. I'm gonna use my hammer. There we go. We'll work it out the back. We'll pull on this. There, perfect. Just like that. Next, we want to remove our engine mount. It's a 19mm. Hit on it with a hammer. There you go. Get the rest of it with my fingers. Then we have this bracket right here. Let me move you up a little. There are 2 14mm, easy to get to. There's one more bolt right behind here. Looks like that was already loose. Maybe from the last time the axle was done. Let's get it with a ratcheting wrench. We just want this to separate. There we go. Now let's go underneath, we'll finish taking this off. Underneath, we'll get our lower mount nuts. This one's nice and exposed, and there's one in this hole and one in this hole. A lot of times these holes have a little grommet cover on them. Mine are already missing, but just with a little screwdriver or pick, those pop right out. 17mm. Jack this up, put a block of wood in between. Give it a little pressure. Let me go back just a little more. Okay, a little pressure. Then we'll finish taking off that mount. Okay, so this whole thing should come out just like that. We'll separate that, get this whole thing off. Nice, let's go back under. We'll free up our bearing. So underneath, here's our oil pan drain plug. Goes straight up on the inboard side of our CV axle. We got this bolt we want to remove. It's a 14 millimeter. And this clamp right here, you can get with just a pair of pliers, pinch that together, and pull that C-clamp out. And that should be all we need to pull out our axle. Get that bolt off. There we go. Buzz it out. And that little clamp. There we go. I guess I can just dangle there. Let me get my pry bar. Just get right in here. We'll push that way against the case. It looks like this is coming out pretty easy. Probably because it was replaced already once before. Oh, wow, nice. Yours might not be that easy, but I hope it is for you. Let's go back out. All right, now everything should just slide out. Just pull it straight out the best you can. Just straight out. Haha, got it. All right, take your new CV axle, match it up with your old CV axle, and just make sure they're the same. Then we'll take this clip off, just pull on it, it'll separate, and we'll transfer it over beforehand. There we go. That's it, let's go install it. One thing we want to do before putting this in is right on our bearing, we're gonna put a little anti-seize just on the outer side of the bearing. There we go, I'm gonna rub that around. Just so in the future, if it does need to come out again, it won't be seized in there. Just a nice light coating, doesn't take a lot. Perfect. Now it's important as we push this in that this whole shaft from the bearing forward remains clean. We don't want to accidentally rub it against something and get grit inside our transmission or transfer case. So we'll just go straight in, straight as we can. Straight in. Now this does not have a C-clip. So we'll just go all the way in, line up those splines. There, that's it. Not too bad. Before this side goes in, we want to do the same thing with anti-seize on our splines. Now we're not getting it on our threads, just on our splines. Just a nice coating. This can be a little thicker if you want, but really just a light film is all it needs. Just as a corrosion inhibitor. Okay, we'll pull this out. Get this fit in. Go. Line it up so the splines go in. If you need, you can turn the hub in the front left or right for those splines. There we go. Now it's coming out the front. We'll put the nut on. Let's go down to the bearing. So now we have our C-clamp. We'll just compress that. Okay, there we go. Check with a flashlight, make sure it's in all the way around. Yeah, it looks good. Then we'll put our bolt in. We want this to be 28 foot-pounds. All right, that is it. Put our engine mount back on. We gotta kind of aim it under. There we go. Might have to wiggle it a little to get those started. This bottom one. Snug these down. Use my electric ratchet. I don't know why I didn't do that coming out. These are 39 foot-pounds. Now I can't get a torque wrench on this bottom one. I'm just gonna do my best. All right, put this on. Not sure it really had to come off, but the manual said take it off. 71 foot-pounds. Put the bottom nuts on. Suck them down. Those are 71 foot-pounds. Take the jack out. With our pry bar, we'll push down on the control arm. We'll get this to come back. There we go. Now let me straighten out the steering wheel. We'll do this again. Get it to line up. There we go. Get the nuts on. Now this bolt, get it to line up. If you need, you can push down on the control arm. Just get those threads started. We'll suck these down. And these are 68 foot-pounds. We'll suck our spindle nut down. Put our screwdriver in the fins. This is torqued at 217 foot-pounds. My torque wrench only goes up to 150 foot-pounds, so we just heard it click at 150, and I'll go a little more. The best thing is if you have a torque wrench that'll go above 150, but this is the best I can do. Pop this out, then we'll lock our axle nut in the keyway. Just stamp it down. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, just enough so the nut doesn't back out. Let's go back under, we'll fill up our transfer case and our transmission. This is how we're gonna fill up our transfer case. I have a fluid pump, and our fluid, the manual says it's 75/80. That's pretty much it. It'll take just under 1 quart. We'll snake this around. Put this in. There we go. Now we'll just pump away. Now the manual says 0.8 quarts, so just over 3/4, a little less than 1. We're almost there. Starting to drip out of the transfer case. That's good. Get my catch pan, catch it. All right, we'll pull this out. There we go. Yep, just about right. Our fill plug, we'll put on a new washer. Put that on. Took quite a bit to get that angle just right for that fill plug. But just something to keep in mind, keep playing with it. Probably get a lot of fluid running down your arm. That's okay, just enjoy it. This is torqued to 36 foot-pounds. If you can get a torque wrench on it, that would be great. Let me see if I can, just enough room. Okay, wipe it down real good. Last thing is to fill up our transmission. We're getting close. Next, we want to remove this plastic cover. We have 2 10mm bolts. I'm gonna pull you off of the camera stand and show you right behind here. You can peel this plastic back and you'll see a little plastic clip right there. You want to pop that clip off and we can take this plastic out the rest of the way. My head is going to be in your way, but you just want to take a flat screwdriver or something that you can push in on the center. I'll show you once I get it out. There we go, got this out. So here's the clip, and you can see somebody tried to pry it up and broke the rim, but really it's that center that you want to push in. So you just take a little screwdriver or something and just push in on that center, and that releases the clip. And then to reset the clip, we just push it until it protrudes like that, and that resets it when we put it in, and then we just lock it flush, and that's it. All right, all that so we can get to our fill plug. We want to crack this loose to make sure we can refill it before we drain it. All right, 24mm, break it loose. I think that's it. All right, for the transmission fluid, we're going to use ATFWS from Toyota, along with a hand pump that goes inside. Put our hose inside like that, just as far as it'll go. And we'll just start pumping away. We'll loosely get our fill plug back in. I'm not going to tighten it up yet, just snug. I'm just going to spray this down real quick. There we go. All right, the easiest way to do this is with a scan tool that can read live data. We want to go into our automatic transmission oil temperature 1, and you can see right now it is 86 degrees. We want it between 95 degrees and 113 degrees. That's our window for checking fluid level. If you don't have a scan tool that can do this, there is a workaround. Let me show you that. Under the dash, we have our OBD2 connector. On this top row, we want to be 4th one in. So count your pins, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the bottom, we want to be 5 in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to do this with a fused jumper. That way, if I'm wrong on my pin number, I don't damage anything, it'll just blow the fuse. We want to do this with the car off. Now let's sit in the driver's seat. Now in the driver's seat, we're going to want to look at this little window here, and it's all about the drive indicator. That'll be the letter D. We want the brake fully depressed. We're going to go ahead and start it up. You'll notice all these lights flashing. That's perfectly normal. Then we're going to take the selector, select it from drive into park, and then we're going to go back to drive, neutral, drive, neutral, drive, neutral, drive, neutral. Now that went to drive on its own. We're going to put it in park. Let off the brake, and then underneath, we're going to pull this out. You should not have any indicator. Even though we are in park, there's no indicator here saying the letter P. We are in what's called fluid temperature detection mode. We'll let the transmission fluid warm up until that D comes back. It'll be a D, not a P. So even though we are in park, a D showing that we're in drive will show up. A nice solid D means our temperature is in range. If the D starts flashing, that means we're over temperature and we need to let the transmission cool down. Because there's no D here, that means we're under temperature. So we're gonna wait a little while and let that transmission fluid warm up. And that's how we can do the bypass. A little more involved, but still doable. All right, it just turned to the D, so we were at the bottom range of our temperature. We can go down and pull off our check plug. So with the engine running, we're gonna pull out our plug, have our catch pan underneath. All right, now I'm gonna top it off until it starts dribbling out. Now you watch the drain plug and I'm gonna pump away. There we go, we got a good steady stream. Stop the pumping. Now we'll put our check plug back on. Wipe all this down. We'll torque this down. Perfect. Now we'll just give it a good look around our pan, make sure we're not leaking anywhere. Wipe it down one more time really good. Then we'll tighten our fill plug and put all our plastics back on. All right, we will torque this down. All right, and we have our little plastic. Put that clip in first if you choose. And our 2 10 mils. Snug these down. All right, we're done. Good job. All right, there you go. That's how you can change the passenger CV axle on your Sienna. Next thing we want to do is just take it on a test drive, make sure there's no new noises, no new vibrations, and you're good to go. No alignment needed, but if you feel like you want one, it's been a while, go ahead, take it to the alignment shop, just double check. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll have links in the description for all the parts and tools used. If you have any questions, comment, post down below. Work safe. See you on the next one.